I'm back. Ready to attack. I'm here. I'm back. I'm ready to attack. Okay. So, we're getting into texturing. Let's go ahead and open all the programs I need for today. Huh. Hour. Just waiting on stuff to load and then we'll begin. Actually, I can start. Is this next Monday MLK Day? Looks like it. All right. So for our, oh, I did not want to click that. For our boy here, what we want to do is finish him. It's a little pokey right there. Now, our main goal will be to make lines. So we have the bracelets, those will take the most time. And then we have the hair on the back of the head. So for the hair on the back, that will be interesting because let's go ahead and open it here. Open file nation. Bam. Bam. Reference. So it's got kind of like these tufts right here. And on the side. Boom, boom, boom. So these kind of diamond shapes. So I think I have a good idea on how to tackle that. So midtone, midtone, and then dark tone. So we'll do the midtones first. I'm going to add a fill, make it max color, tell it to not repeat, and set it to planar projection. Because my idea is that we can just simply make a little cube and intersect it with the character like that. And that should yield something like a diamond, at least in the right spot. Let's flatten it a little bit. Move it up, rotate it. Something like that. That looks very diamond-like. They're more angled. I could also use an actual diamond shape. Yes, that's what we'll do. There's a triangle. Perfect. Like that. Just going to move it over so I can properly see it. It's always difficult to find where it's projecting. Okay. So, projecting along this angle. So we want it here, and then we want to rotate it 90 degrees. And there. I really can't tell. Okay. Triangle. That's the triangle right there. So it should be projecting the right way. Should actually be something almost exactly like that. A little bit farther up. A little squished. Marlo. Oh, thank you, Marlo. Much appreciated. Welcome. We're getting it figured out. Trying to make a certain type of shape on the character. These little diamond bits. These will prove to be challenging, I'm feeling. There are other little ones we can do in the meantime. The tip of the fur right there. Tip of the fur. Hope you're having a good New Year's, Marlo. good start to the new year. It's much lighter. Right. There we go. I do actually have a diamond, not just this, but a diamond. Oh, it's just so hard to tell how it's projected. It's actually kind of exactly what we need. Funny. Duplicate, move. This one I might just want to go fix so we can have it intersect exactly. Right there. Perfect. Okay. Challenging, but we're getting there. So now we'll do these other diamonds. So I'm going to copy this one, go over to here, paste. So now we've created this one. This one is lower, goes down here. But we also want to make it a lot thinner. Maybe not too much thinner. We just want something like that. You can always make a second shape to cut out of this one, which I may do. Yeah. So duplicate, set it to subtract, move it up. And over. Like so. Nice. Yeah, that's basically what we're looking for. Right about there-ish. And then we'll bring this one up. Just rotate it. Like that. Nice. Okay, that looks clean. Yeah. Yeah. Let's move it forward. Well, okay. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. Noise. Noise. I think we'll need to do the same for the other ones to really get it to look right. So go here. Gonna rotate it till we fill up the space we want. pretty close. Something like that. All right. Okay, next one. Down here or here. I'm going to set it back to just fill. A little bit easier to manage this way. So we've got the top diamond up here ish, which we'll duplicate, subtract, that. Perfect. I'll shrink it in a little bit so we don't affect anything else. Actually, you can move it this way. So that I get the bottom cut too. Then, okay, run it. That. So we can get the bottom diamond. Perfect. Easy. Okay. And then kind of repeat that here with these ones. Duplicate this one. I'm just going to straighten it out. I didn't do that before. Move it straight out. So we get a nice one here. Just basically focus on the bottom angle. Perfect. Duplicate. Set this to subtract. Up. Over. Bam. All right. Take a little sip. And there's just a few more of these little midtones here that I'll put in a few other spots. Or yeah, this, rotate. A little bit higher, and then duplicate, subtract, rotate. Like so. rather do this. Kind of that. Just to make sure we're getting those sharp shapes. Sharp shapes. All right, pretty good. And on the tip out here somewhere, we'll choose this one here. Boom. Wham. Where? Where? Going for it. Can't say that it's taking to that one too. So why don't we do? That's really the only one left. We could do this side fluff right here. Let's go ahead and file, export the body textures. And so now we've got a nice amount of color on the back of the head. And there's a few other spots to add manually. So the reference here, we've got these little spots on the side, right? I guess it's touching the eye, basically. Actually, it's basically just a circle, this one. So we will use a circle. Because I'm lazy. Well, it's not laziness. Just use the right tool for the right job. You know? There's this show coming out on Apple TV. I forget what it's called. Shapes. I think it's called Shapes. And there's 3 characters in the show called Circle, Triangle, and Square. But they're 3D. So it's like they should actually be called Cube, Pyramid, and Sphere. I think that's really only kind of a nerd like myself that would really care about that. All right, so we got that one. And then we're actually going to go ahead, make another one, lower it. Lower it. I got you. This needs to be set to linear dodge. And then linear dodge. And then these will duplicate again and set to subtract. So I can take this one and move it up. And we can begin to create this other shape. which I don't think we need this for. We just need that. And then a little bit higher up, a little bit over. Yeah, it should line up basically like this. And let's clean up this little spot here. Paint. I should do something like that. Cute. Export again. Take a look in virtual reality. Check, am I muted? No, okay, I'm not muted. Perfect. Yesterday I was like muted twice. Maybe even more than that. All right. Now, one essential thing for very stylized cartoonish characters was we do have to add coloring to the lips. Otherwise, it just disappears, like right here. So we're going to do that in our paint section with the tan by just selecting some. Ooh, ooh. Oh. This could do with some cleanup. Oh, yeah, I don't want him to have a Hitler stash. So we'll go back to Blender, open Byron. To the face, see what's going on. Yes, so these are definitely messed up here. This is too low. No. And send it here. Bam, shift control R. Actually, one more thing. Looking at the face. Is there a way to make this a little bit less cluttered? Seems a little stretched out. All right, let's see how that goes. Probably will need to remake the nose now. I may actually just make the nose out of mesh instead of relying on painting it, just so we get it extremely accurate, because it's going to be a little bit fuzzy no matter what. We are on the lower setting, set it to 4K. Yeah, I think I will. But that means we don't have to worry about it right now. But I will worry about getting lips painted. So this, boom, boom, and boom, boom, boom. And now we've got the lips painted. All right. Should also add that same color to the inside of the mouth, which will be, I believe, this one here. Let me in. Perspective. I would just like to see the inside of the mouth, please. So this one. Yep, I was right. Okay. Though we'll do another pass on those different colors. Oh! And then here, let's make sure they're all set to 4K with streaming maps enabled. Essential. VR chat. Essential. Yeah, we'll definitely make the nose out of mesh. That'll be simplest. Though it is pretty clean here. That looks much cleaner. We'll see. We'll see. A little cartoon face. What else? So we want to make these lines here on the coat. There's a few spots that have line work. So we'll do the shorts first, since that's on the body of the character. So to do that, go to the shorts layer and add another template folder inside. Boom. We'll call this short lines. Set it to just base color. And then sample that color. I should just put it on my other screen. Hello, Coinmonger. Welcome. Good morning. Oh. Hey, thank you for the bits. Much appreciated. Made my morning. UVs, yeah, we finished the UVs yesterday, so now we're on painting. So we're just actually making the textures now. This is what the character looks like so far. So we got a decent amount through the character so far. I need to fix the normals on that one, but yeah, with a more cartoonish design, it goes a little quicker. But UVs, thankfully, don't take me too long. Sleeves look a little long. They will be. They're gonna cover up the hands and they'll flop. So I'll have little fizz bones on the end so that they kind of will like flop around. Floppy. Oh, excuse me. What's next? What's next? All right, shorts. So we want to work on this texture here. we're going to make some lines. So with the short lines, I will use the same method I was just using. How are you going to keep the hands and prevent them from clipping? So I use a shader, the Byon shader, for VR chat, which is a very common one. And they have something called UV discarding. So I believe it just takes a section, whatever section of geometry you want, and moves it super far away. Basically, just teleports it away, or hides it, would probably be the best way to say it. So you can hide sections of your mesh. So that's what I'll be doing for the hands, and most of the body. When the jacket is being worn, I will hide a decent amount of the character, like mostly just hands and arms, and when the shirt's on, some of the body. That'll probably be it. Don't need to do too much with the clipping. How to know when to hide and unhide. So I can create toggleable animations. So I make an animation for when it's um, hiding and unhiding. So for the person with the character, they'll just toggle one button, but it'll just change a series of values depending on which animation is playing. Exactly. Yeah. It's definitely a very manual process to set up, but when it's there, it's not too bad. But yeah, it's definitely uh, Blender, or sorry, VR Chat gives people a lot of tools, but a lot of things are still very manual in their way. All right, so there's that line. So then right about there. And then we'll do one for the top. Right there. But the sleeves look like tough. They look tough. In what way? One here, move up again. You can just remove the mesh. Yeah, so I could hide the mesh, but I prefer the UV tile discard because um, avatars are ranked by their how expensive they are to render, or just how much stuff that they have. So I prefer to have everything um, be one mesh. So, and then I just use the shaders to hide stuff. But it's better for everything to be combined as one piece of geometry inside of Unity. If it was like in Blender, it wouldn't be a concern. It's only because it's in being uploaded to like a video game that the constraints are so uh, intense. But for like animation and stuff, you'd never have to worry about being this specific. Yeah, you could just make everything a separate mesh, and that'd pretty much be it. But because they have to make it work for a lot of people, the constraints are kind of strong. Yeah, so I'll hide the body, some sections of the arms, and then the chest. It's pretty much my for now. Like one more fill layer. We're gonna add a box or rectangle. Finish my rig for now, at least. Hey, heck yeah, that's awesome. Always a good feeling. Ooh, level design. The challenge. I guess I could always take a rectangle. So you're making a video game or like an environment? Not a fan of level design. I find it boring. Agreed. Yeah, characters are definitely more my jam. I very much struggle with maintaining interest for certain tasks. It's a little tab right there, so there. Put it below. Duplicate and then make a subtract one. I should just be able to do that. A bit lower. A little bit lower. Bam. All right. Got a little tab there. I did a diner yesterday. I'm going to be working on an office today. Oh, very cool. Now, for these, are you using like pre-built stuff, or are you making everything from scratch, or like an asset pack or something? Gotcha. Smart. If you haven't, I would recommend checking out some Stable Diffusion stuff. There's some really easy ways to make environments and then project them onto geometry, especially if you're doing it for like just one shot. Can really speed up some of your workflows there. I tried to model. Fair. This should go all the way down to like the groin. That. This one we're going to swap for this one. But yeah, I've been trying to use a lot of diffusion in my workflow. Top down point and click game. Oh, definitely recommend checking out. Um, there was a post recently. Someone was using Stable Diffusion to do kind of a point and click dealio. So they used the AI to generate like an image of like a background, and then they did like a 3D model kind of thing for it. But let me send you. It's probably a little different from the kind of aesthetic that you're looking for, but uh, he had a blog post for it. Anyway, I'll just send you the Reddit link. It was pretty interesting to see. Could save you some time. with some of the stuff you're doing. There we go. I think that should just about do it. Let's just get some back pockets too. My buddy was using Chat GPT today to help him code. Yeah, it's super useful for that. It's amazing what what it can do. Just like I just want, even if it's just like give me an outline for this kind of script. It's like, oh, here's generally what you should do, or best practices for this kind of scenario, and you're like, oh, okay, perfect. I think it's super useful. I can imagine the entire nature of education changing thanks to stuff like that. It's like, do you really need to go to school when you can have an AI that will personally tutor you and answer any question you have at any time? Like, dang. Stuff on the link looks cool, but nothing moves. I think that's just if you could model it onto something that moves, then you can just move it. I hate when stuff is still. Yeah, I think that's just a reflection of what that person did, not necessarily the tool itself. Absolutely. Add some fog, flickering lights, some sort of animated thing in the background, like flying cars or something. But projecting from that one perspective might be an issue. Yes, if you have, it's really good for static images, but if you're going to be moving around, that will certainly enter a much would require a lot more work to get it to work right. Yeah, that would it gets a little hairy. Um, Good, but when you play it, there's nothing to click on. Not yet, not yet. Trying to make everything interactable. Oh yeah, that's pretty fun. What kind of setting is it in? Just want people to TP click stuff. I don't like that one. I'm gonna get rid of that. I like this line work. I like this line work. Ba-ba-ba. Modern day city. Gotcha. It's like a lady trying to find her brother. It's like a mystery. Oh, that's very cool. I love that stuff. It's funny because like as time has gone on, when I think of sitting down to play games, it's like I'd rather just play like a something that's just story oriented. Like if I really want like intense competitive action, there's the main games for that. But when it comes to like indie games or games that really tickle my interest, it would be something like a visual novel or a point and click or something. It's just a little bit more my speed these days. I wonder if I could chain mask out the reflection. Taking combat out really makes the scope of dev a lot easier. Very true. Very true. Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree. Ugh, excuse me. But also just like I find that I would rather have an interesting story than for something to try to be like super intense uh like gameplay. There's a lot of competition in the space of like it's the best combat, but there's less competition in the space of good story. The only thing I'm worried about is spoilers. That's fair. That's fair. Oh, dang it. I'm missing something on the mesh. No one wants to read if they know how it ends. I've been watching myself. I've been finding myself watching a bunch of these recap things on YouTube. I don't know if any of y'all have seen those. They're kind of addicting to watch. I totally forgot to make the pop hats here. Essential for a Fursona character. Some things on the like recap stuff, I have gone back and actually watched the show. There's this one anime, Konosuba. No, is that it? I think that's it. I think that might be the main character's name. It was pretty funny. I hadn't heard about it before, seen it on the recap thing, and I was like, this is hilarious. Hmm. So I can't add a cut this way? Why not? Heard about D&D with the OGL license stuff? Yeah, I've seen a few headlines. I watched some show yesterday talking about it a little bit. I would be 100% okay if people walked away from D&D as a company. I have no problem with D&D as a setting. But there's other interesting settings out there. It's like it's so funny for them to to be like, "Oh, cuz we don't want to support our competition against our staff." And it's like, well, the biggest thing they did to support their competition was by trying to snuff it out. And now everyone wants nothing to do with them. Oh, that's perfect. Bam. Oh, maybe. Oh, that's pretty far. Maybe we do this. No, I do it. Yeah, I'm all for them embrace and the tabletop community embracing open source um, platforms. I would 100% love that because it just gets to the core of why a good space for creators and for consumers alike. How do you license something like that? Yeah, they're basically just saying we're gonna sue you, right? And you know that they're thinking about Critical Role, right? They're just looking at how much money Critical Role is making, and they're like, we want that. That should be yours. And I mean, after that, like, I would totally be unsurprised. But how do you prove that it's D&D? Well, they said that they want 20% after $750,000. So yeah, so basically they're saying that they're gonna sue you. They don't own dragons. I think it would be coming down to like, oh, used these, when uh, Critical Role went from just like a personal stream to a larger stream. They had to change the names of the gods that they were using because D&D threatened to sue them. Um, it was infringing on the gods that D&D owns. So it's not necessarily like dragons as a concept, but it's the like characters, like that famous drow. I forget his name. But anyway, so it's more like their if you use their mythos, then they will sue you, and their system. But still, again, I don't think that should be owned. I'm not arguing that that should be the case. Just that that's what they would build their case on. So many games use those enemies. 100%, 100%. Yeah, I mean, like, there's this game I saw lately, dark and darker, like that. I was having a lot of fun watching those streams, but it's all like classic fantasy, right? Which D&D harkens back to little mimics and stuff. World of Warcraft, the Lich, exactly. So there's very common themes among fantasy, and a lot of it stems from back in the day original D&D in a sense, just that they happen to be there at that time. But in the sense that they own it, hell no. So WoW would be safe. So weird. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, just I mean, Wizards of the Coast is not going to try to go after Blizzard. No, no way in hell. That would be a very long and arduous battle that they do not want to have. I would love to see them try though. That'd be funny. That would be them basically going, "We want to be locked in a legal battle for the next 2 years." Blizzard would just settle out of court. Blizzard would no if they can't set that precedent of people suing. They would do everything they could to destroy Hasbro in court if Hasbro tried that because if there were any sort of precedent that people could sue Blizzard over their own IP, like that would be really, really bad for Blizzard. Mucho bad. One, two, three, four, four. Oh, this is 4 here. Well, again, very bad for Blizzard. And Blizzard has its own problems when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's like Nintendo and that kind of deal. They would just pay them off. Let's see. Those look like beans. Did I do that right? Did I do that bottom pad right? Should be 2 low, 1 high. I did it wrong. Too low. Too low. No. Sort of right. Okay. Sort of right. Just needs to be more exaggerated. But like I could see this quickly or becoming an issue in the sense where the entire tabletop community because I see open source as the ultimate not the ultimate but the final form of a content creator community. And D&D tabletop role playing isn't a space where because they're saying that they'll come after YouTubers basically, right? It's like if some YouTuber is making a shit ton of money talking about uh, D&D stuff all the time, like I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to get a finger in that pie too. So it's in the entire table TTRPG community's best interest to embrace open source, which I think is good, which I would want to happen. While no, it's not about them being YouTubers. It's about them being about how much money they're making. So I think they'd go after people like Critical Role, YouTubers that are making big bucks. Anyone that's making money they want. They're not going to waste time on like someone just doing some sort of passion project unless it blows up. And they again, for them it's just money. They're just looking at dollar signs like that's a dollar we want. That's dollar should be ours. Because there's a lot of channels and like all the supplemental stuff. Like people make a living off talking about that. Critical Role's production, not one guy in a face cam. You would be amazed at how much money YouTubers make. You'll be very very surprised to know some of the figures of YouTube channels. It all comes down to views, right? And it's like it's not about how many people are behind it. It's about how much money it's being made. Okay, now we got some pod pads. Yay! But, but, scene. Stranger Things has D&D in it. Why not go for them? Most likely, D&D is making money off of that. Like if you make a reference to something in a movie, people can. There are potential lawsuits for that kind of stuff, like using music. It's just like using a song, and like there have been lawsuits in the past over IP issues in the realm of yeah, in the realm of movies and stuff like that. But 100% television's going to play it right. I'm not. I would not be surprised if I would expect that Hasbro made money off of Stranger Things, off of that those references and stuff, like a licensing kind of deal. I mean, fair, but I'm 90% sure that that's usually how it works in movies. If you're going to use something that someone owns, there's a good chance that they're aware of it. Not from what I'm seeing. Right here. Hasbro Gaming Stranger Things Dungeons and Dragons role playing game starter set. They're clearly working out some sort of deal. Like Hasbro and Stranger Things are working on stuff. It certainly would have boosted sales of D&D, but that's not the only way that Hasbro's going to make money out of it. Uh, but you can't just reference stuff and use people's products in movies freely. Like, for example, in the recent Call of Duty made took photos of a hotel that they used in their game, and that hotel then sued Call of Duty because they weren't aware that the building photos of the building, the location was going to be used in that game. So they're suing them because they. I don't see any pictures of a license though. If they don't have a license, I mean it's a Hasbro product using Stranger Things. So clearly they're working on stuff. Like I don't think you're going to be able to Google anything and find a contract, but there's no way it right. There's no way that either Netflix is letting Hasbro release products about their show, or that like that just opens the whole can of worms. No, 100% people that's usually how it works in movies. Like you can't put a Ford in a movie and expect Ford, the car company, to be like, oh that you didn't talk to us about that. Like that's genuinely, but that's merch, not the IP itself. IP, intellectual property, covers more than just merchandise. It covers talking about things, they're referencing Vecna specifically. Hasbro would 100% have a legal case against Netflix if they're using the terms Vecna in their show. Like that is the basis for a lawsuit. License OGL is not the right frame of the OGL is not the right context for Stranger Things and Hasbro interacting with each other. Like the Netflix isn't using the OGL license to make that. Like they're not marketing it as some sort of supplemental thing. Like they are using classic D&D, and that's something that Hasbro owns. And if they didn't make some sort of contract with it, then Hasbro sued the pants off them because that's just free money. Like the fact that they're yeah, IP covers a lot of different things. It's like you can make references to things in certain ways, but you can't like for them to use it as a fundamental part of their story, specifically Vecna in that case, because it's a classic. And then they used like everything is very heavily referenced. Let's see. So you can own a program, but you can't own code. There's there's a lot of nuance to intellectual property, but Hasbro Stranger Things partnership can't own math and code is math. There's a lot of tricky. I'm not saying what copyright should be, but people have owned encryption techniques and things like that. Um, yeah, so you can um, copyright code. Uh, yeah, code can be copyrighted. So you can copyright code. So if someone copy and pasted your code, that's a copyright infringement. But the copyright only protects the actual code itself, but would not stop someone from creating their own code that implemented the same method. So you can't own the idea, you can own the code you created, which makes sense. But yeah, copyright stuff will always be those battles will be endless. Makes no sense. That is not true. You could definitely. So they're saying like if you took letter for letter, variable for variable, like literally copy and pasted someone else's code versus using the same technique and you could code it yourself. That's not the same. There is a distinction there because you're not going to make it. It's not going to be the exact same lines of code. It'll be the same technique, the same math, but you could name variables differently. When certain things are implemented, those could change. Be pretty close. Yes, yeah, it would be similar, but similar is not the same thing as identical, and that's what they're saying. If your code is identical, as in you copy and pasted it from our code, then they'll have a problem. All right, we got some little paw pads now. Still, take me to court. Take me to court. The interest, see, like Chat GPT is in this really interesting area where it can analyze a bunch of code. You can use it to make codes. Yeah, there's a lot of gray areas. It's certainly not a. It's just like in the courts of law. It's like it's not like you break a law, you go to jail. It's that they have to make a case that based on previous laws or based on those laws that you should go to jail, but not necessarily like what exactly. It's just nuance. So the paws are very similar. That makes loopholes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, like Disney keeps extending the rights of their IPs forever or indefinitely, basically. They're really milking that as long as possible. Apparently, Sherlock Holmes is going to be 100% public domain soon, which is exciting for people who like Sherlock Holmes or want to make Sherlock Holmes Steph. Free Mickey. The challenge is no, the claws are not white, or the body's not pure white. So, excuse me. I was one of those my favorite open IP. It's a good one. It is very much a good one. Okay, so let's add some shade to these ones, and we'll see how that comes out in the character. Oh, before I do that though, let's make sure to add the little bottom paws. Oh man, adding the paws adds so much. Looks so cute. All right, file, export. Yeah, I love Sherlock Holmes. Love Alice in Wonderland. But I would love to do some sort of Sherlock Holmes themed uh, story. Or I wouldn't. I suppose it wouldn't be themed anymore. You can just do the story directly. Oh, this came out well. I really like how the paws look. All right, let's see if we can get some shading on there. Byron, cat body, reflections and specular, and we want to use the metallic and smoothness. It's really cool, but I don't know how someone could riff off of the original. There's a lot of little individual stories there. It's a pretty tight concept. Oh, well, with the IP ending, it's like you don't have to. You would just you can just do those stories directly, but they do have to be those stories and not any derivative Sherlock stuff that's come afterwards. Oh yeah, but just like any story, will probably continue to be retold. It's just about execution, not necessarily concept. Move that over just a little bit more like this other there. But I could certainly see with that coming into public IP and the rise in AI art, there will be a bunch of Sherlock Holmes stories uh, everywhere. It's mostly that the back to copyright stuff, but the family, the um, heirs of the Sherlock IP guy who wrote it, Sir Conan Doyle, his family, they were still using one story to sue other people and claim rights over that story. But now that particular one is what's up for, or its IP is now ending. So export it. I think I exported it just now, so I should be able to go here. Shift R. Perfect. Oh, and then is this one pure black? Must have added it to it. No, I don't see it selected. Hmm. Anyway, we'll do another one. Bracelets. And then we'll do first bracelet, left and right. Oh, they are inside out. There we go. Then for the right one, let's pull open this reference. Excuse me. So this one, delete, we'll add leather here. And select. Why isn't that? Oh, duh. Okay, gotcha. Need to copy these and put them here. And delete that. Go to clothing. And now, black mask. Bam. Bam. There we go. There we go. All right, so for this first one, we have this leather on it, but that should only be for the side sections. Here-ish and here-ish. Then we have metal. 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 Is that another template? Perfect. And this will add a fill. No repeat. And then we'll just adjust it like that. But we'll need to mask it out this way. Okay. Height. Duplicate the fill. Linear dodge. Excuse me. This will be interesting. I guess we'll add a, let's call this one mask. Another paint here. No, we'll do a fill, another fill. Duplicate that, but this time we'll add a pattern. And we will let it repeat. Vertically. That way we can have a few. But we want the spacing to be a little bit better. So do we have any circles? We can control the size of. It kind of doesn't work well. There must be one. Gotta squeeze one. I guess we'll just have to turn this back off. Repeat. None. And we'll just work backwards. So we got one there. Got one. Oh. What's this do? Nothing. Okay. Nice. Out there. Duplicate again. Roughly halfway. All right. So we have these little circles now. Oh. Boom. So this one's halfway. Okay, so I should have been just a little unevenly spaced all. Four. So it should be here. Looks odd because they're so close together on that side. So if I took one of these ones, deleted it, that would be a little bit better. All right, close enough. Now I have little dots. We're gonna copy this mask, make a little fill layer here with nothing. Brass dots. And on this, we will delete. There. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. There to there. And add here an anchor point. Brass dots mask. Then we can go here and delete. Oh, perfect. Okay. Then we'll do is we'll add a, let's go ahead, add some sort of color to this. Red. Sure. Brass dots. Why would the color only be on these? Interesting. What am I doing to mask it? I have the mask here. I would expect that one to reveal it, but it's not. In fact, this one hides it. Of course, but then I bring this out. There we go. Okay. Put it below brass dots. Below brass. And then we'll go here. If I create a bevel, doesn't appear to do anything. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? There we go. Right about there. So boom. And then a levels to sharpen that. Like that or so. That way I can tweak the size. Yes. And we can add another anchor point. Then we go back to brass, add a fill here, which we'll call, or we'll call on the subtract one to subtract. Turn off the color on this layer. And then another fill, but this one we'll look at the normal mask. That. And we set it to linear dodge. That. Okay. So now we have a nice amount of control on this stuff. There. We'll go back to the brass dots. We're going to add one more thing. Oh, I could always add an anchor point here. Then do a filter. Some sort of bevel. Align. Like that. I like this back, but it's just brass. Interesting. That got really odd. Let's not do that. All right. So the artificial leather, we're going to make an inside one. And this will be applied only to, you guessed it, the inside of the leather. So do that or so. And bam. Should be at least these ones. Right there. Okay, perfect. And then for this one, make it a little bit bumpier. All right. I think that looks pretty good. On to the other bracelet. So for this one, it's kind of this corded pattern. So we're just going to do just color for right now so we can identify the patterns we need. Mask. And that mask, let's add a fill in the fill alpha pattern or just pattern. We want something kind of like this, these little arrows that work. Gradient angle weave. That are just the stripes mirrored. So if we do this, let's center it on the bracelet. Repeat, none. Wow, the difficulty is, I want to try the gradient. This is hot. But if we rotate it 45 degrees, rotate. Perfect. We do get this nice pattern. Let's keep doing that. focus on just one then. Is that usually how that works? Anyway, let's add on top of it a levels. So we can sharpen it. This. And now we have bands. Okay, we'll definitely need to do that. And repeat vertically, fine, horizontally, right about there. Oh, damn. So close yet so far. They don't line up. I need something that lines up. No, no, no. Okay, it's got to be stripes then. There we go. All right. Basically that. I don't really have a good shape for this. Feels like it should be something easy. Just some sort of alternating V shape. Excuse me. Gotcha. I could do this, and then there we go. Okay. Problem was I was rotating it. Rotating it and then intersecting. They need to line up right in the middle. Okay. There. There. Perfect. This should only repeat horizontally. Perfect, which means I can duplicate this again. Over. Under. Boom, boom, boom. Should I do this twice? That should be fine. I could just duplicate again. Do that. Find the right angle. About there. Looks like salmon. There we go. That took a little doing, but we did it. It really looks like salmon. Problem is, we've got too many. Let's go here and we'll say stripes 2. Still too many. There. I think we need to delete that one. Duplicate. So much stuff to move around. Yeah, level design is all about patience, which is why I was not very good at it. Sorry from a demo map, so it's not all bad. It needs to be changed. There we go. Are you using what engine are you using? It's Quality X. That must be Unreal then. That's right. We were talking about that yesterday. Ooh, excuse me. Trying to get a minimal playable state so I get testers ASAP. Smart. Smart. Stain is the way to go. I've wanted to make a game forever, but always get a little lost. Or not lost, it's just it's a time investment for sure. Dun, 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 dun. What about the engine forever? There's some game jams in my area. Been considering joining them, but a little intimidated. At some point, you have to make something, though. Very true. Very true. You just got to make that jump. Sorry to yawn. Man, that, that's what I wanted right there. Okay, well, next time I will search arrow. Dang it. That's such a bummer. That's exactly what I would have wanted. No. Trying to make a 3D person game with a complex combat system for like 2 years. That is certainly a challenging start. Too big a scope, 100%. But you got to do it once to know. This game where you just click on stuff is more to be more manageable. I just saw one that Markiplier was playing, and it's like, you know, YouTube. The nice part is like content creators will basically play anything as long as they're entertained by it. Oh, do you think a game can be too long? Really depends on the type of game. But yes, certainly games can be too long. Um, it just kind of depends on the type of reward you're looking for. Usually it just comes down to only narrative games can really feel too long. Everything else, like, it's more of a question of just when you put down the controller. But like, you would just have to make sure that you're giving uh it's like visual novels compared to like a telenovela or soap opera. It's kind of a good comparison where it's like a soap opera could just kind of keep going on forever, but it stops feeling important after a certain point. When that happens is hard to say, though. Being too short is more of an issue, but I'm just trying to figure out a good playtime to shoot for. Oh, okay. I think that 3 hours is probably acceptable. It's like, think of it like if you just think of it like a movie, and you pay like a movie price, like $5 for a 3 hour experience feels pretty fair to me. Or $5 to $15 for a 3 hour experience. Um, it's hard to gauge that based on like what people say online because there's always going to be some audience that is just like it's too long, it's too short, or this is the perfect length. Like my High on Life playthrough was like 15 hours. I wouldn't compare it to that though. Like if you're making an indie experience yourself, 3 hours is pretty good. Look at like I think a good example is like horror games. HORRO. um, none of those are 15 hours. Like usually they're like two. Usually you can play through it in one sitting, and 15 hours is. I would say it's two sittings. Even if you can do it in one sitting, two that's like two sittings worth. Because you know, can you beat it in an evening? The sitting. Two is minimum because that Steam's refund time. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Um, certainly, people will. That's kind of a. It's an odd feature because yeah, there's some pros and cons to that choice base for Steam. So add more content without adding more levels, and at the same time, not force the player to go back and forth a bunch of times. That's tough. Um, yeah, I think that is definitely one of the struggles. Um, pretty much, I just need more levels. Yeah, just finding ways to make it like more. What am I trying to say? More bang for your buck, right? Even introducing new characters doesn't solve that issue. No, no, it really doesn't. That's where combat is like nice because you can just kind of that is one bet pro of combat is you can kind of have them do that a lot. But generally it's going to be like adding puzzles. It's some sort of challenge, right? It's just like you need a challenge. Something that keeps people engaged or one other you can think of walking simulators and they're like, okay, the character walks this fast. So that means we can make this level at a minimum this long because it takes the character this amount of time to walk from point A to point B. So you're like, okay, I want my level to be at least 1 hour long. So it needs to literally at least be physically this long because that's how fast the character walks. So if you ever need to make your game a little bit longer, you could always make your character walk a little slower. Kind of cheap, but it would work. I was thinking mini games. It would have to be something that the player is forced to do, clearly. If you mean mini games in the sense that it's something the player is forced to do, then yes. Usually when I think of side quests when I hear the word mini games, but I think we're on the same page there. Yeah, I think that's a good call. Excuse me. Even just like a game that's like, point your flashlight at these bugs to scare them away. Just like really relatively straightforward stuff. Like, to get to one side of the room, you have to just do like really tiny little challenges that you can just stack on top of each other. Uh, exactly. Yeah. There's definitely it's tough because you want to give something that engages players. It doesn't feel like it's necessarily like just eating their time just because game design hard, yo. This doesn't feel quite right. It's that. It's because the clothing base layer has roughness when it shouldn't. No, you're good. Numbers on the screen. I mean, yeah, just adding like things to collect, like collect the things. That's a good way to eat up time. Collect this, then that. Need something else for this central piece. Maybe just heavy leather. We just need the brass then to some look. All right, not bad. Lux, hello. What? Cat's yelling at me. I need to close the sleeve here too. I did it for the bottom of the shirt, top of the shirt, but I didn't do it for the sleeve. Sleeve. All right. What? Hang on 1 second, y'all. I'm picking you up. I'm picking you up. Just open the window for her. I think that's what she wanted. All right. So another 20 minutes, and then I will be calling it for now for the morning session. Let's also go ahead and get the shirt done. So go here, grab this, crease this, extrude and shrink it. Gonna do that again. Yeah, that looks a little nicer. Okay, jacket time. So, for our jacket, it's going to have unline work. It's mainly this dark green color, I think. Dark green. Dark blue. All right. So, fill, planer, no repeat. My favorite method of making lines on 3D objects. Out there, a little bit smaller. Okay. Set it to linear dodge so we can mix them. Actually, I'm going to make a new one. No repeat, full but not planar. We're going to just move it onto the jacket. we go. Then I need stripes. Perfect. Probably about that many. Awesome. Awesome possum. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Next, let's see if we can get the line to work with the front of the jacket right about here. It's a little confused. All right. Now let's go ahead and add a paint. just to clean up this little spot here. They merge. A little bit of stretch in there. All right, let's take a look in Unity. And how things going? And more questions. Sorry, no need to apologize. What's up? Things are going well. Whoa, we're getting the texturing done on Byron. Pretty much almost done with the texturing. But yeah, what's up? A question? I think that is actually the end of the texturing. Nice. So in modeling section and blend file, how do I get the clothes back? They're hidden every time I go into edit mode. So it's the same as you would hide something in object mode. Just hit Alt H to unhide something. H is to hide. Alt H is to unhide. Oh, what the? Okay, good. It's a little less shiny too. Nice. Little less shiny. These are messed up over here. Oh yeah. So they're hidden. They're just hidden, but not shown hierarchies. Got it. Hidden. Oh, yes, because yeah, they won't show in the hierarchy because it just thinks of them all as the same object. They're all one mesh to it. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, no problem. Ah, it's because I had it set to export clothes again. I want to export the guys. Save. Still looks a little worried. I don't know. I think maybe once he's moving around. Oh, he doesn't have eyebrows. That's part of it. And he don't have eyebrows because I haven't given them volume or surface. eyebrows were stitched off. It's too fiery. Oh, baby. Ugh. There we go. That does help. It does help. Whoa. uh, what do I press to make that happen? I feel like I keep hitting some key and then it resets the reflections. All right, though. I think we are done with the texturing, at least for now. Looks quite good. What else could I add? Yeah, actually, I think he's looking. That actually looks very, very close. As close as I think you can really expect the translation from 2D to 3D. Noise. I think I don't want this room lighting. Just flat. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Sure, popped it out fast. I like the stylized. Stylized helps me work pretty quick. Boop, 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 boop. AO maps. So let's go back here and let's bake textures. Oh, I'm a little hesitant to do that. Whatever, I can always remove it. Okay. Edit bake mesh maps. Whew. Whew. All right. Okay, it's going to 48. So, and probably would have been better just to bake my own or paint it and everything manually. Yeah, this looks no good. Why are these ones ridged? Huh. All right. Great idea. Lay it on me. I'm ready. I'm gonna copy and paste this level, make it a multi-story office. Ah, I like that. Why is this one different now? We're not adjusting them at the same time. It's just the metallic different. It's fine. So proud of myself. Good. I only see it on the darker clothes. All right, just a little bit. A little bit of clear coat. Oh, elevators. Do you know of any alpha or maybe magic where a render did not show the nip slips in the shirt? Is it showing in the in game? Gotcha. Um, yeah, with Blender, it's really good at um, cutting certain things out. So you can just create like a custom mask. So if you were to go into shader, um, you have a lot more options with Blender. I would kind of recommend against just moving the geometry around. That would probably be the easiest solution. Like you could just make a blend shape to cover everything up. Um, or you could make another version of the model with certain geometries deleted, or you can alter the shader to use an alpha texture, like you were saying. Geometry nodes is also kind of nice. You could make a vertex group that you could delete. So you could just tell it to delete a vertex group off your model, and then you could always just remove that modifier later. So it's procedural rather than permanent, making another version of the model. So there's a few ways to do it, but there's certainly yeah. So you have a few options. Oh, excuse me. All right. I think it is time for lunch for myself. It is noon for me, and I'm gonna go ahead, get some grub, get a workout in, and I'll be back. Yes, lunch. Lunch. But thank you, Coinmonger. Thank you, Kai, for hanging out with me this morning. Who else came by earlier? Um, Marlo, thank you for coming by, Marlo. It's been fun hanging out with you. Fun talking copyright stuff with you, Coin. And I wish you well with your work on your level design. And good luck, Kai, getting everything situated on your character. Um, I can, if you'd like, I could after lunch I'll throw together a little geometry node thing for you, so you could delete a vertex group that you make, which should be kind of a little more straightforward, I think. But anyway, hope you all have a great time in the meantime, and I'll catch you very soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.